So after finishing all the speedrun achievements, please watch those videos, I decided to dip my toe into full game speedruns. For my first category, I chose Halo Combat Evolved Easy, and honestly, I think this was a good choice. Easy as a category is very cozy, and I find it very enjoyable as I have to stress less about combat efficiency like I would have to on Legendary. I stream these runs live, by the way, here on YouTube and on Twitch as well, so if you want to come watch, I'd love to see you there. On June 5th, I completed a run of 1 hour, 25 minutes and 19 seconds. This was at the time my second PB under 1 hour and 30 minutes, but I've chosen to analyse this run in particular as it's a pretty solid run, but it has huge areas for improvement, including tech I need to learn, brush up on, and major time losses which could have led to an even lower PB. So how about we jump on in? My POAs are pretty simple and I don't do anything fancy. Every run does unfortunately start with this forced tutorial here, which does have a few time saves. There's bully strats where if you stand just right, this marine gives his tutorial in a different spot, which cuts down on his travel time to the next part of the tutorial, but this is something I had zero practice in at the time, but I went for just for the meme. I should note I start every run by setting my mouse look to inverted. This saves a bit of time at the calibration, as if you have the aim set to normal, the game will switch you back and forth. I choose to revert back to normal once I'm at the armor station. There is another trick here called Sam Skip, which I do not go for because it's nuts. Oh, by the way, this handsome fella on screen right now is Nervy Destroyer, the current world record holder in this category. If there's a trick I miss or don't go for, we'll refer to Nervy's run for a good example. I've been told this trick should only be gone for if you want a world record, which I'm not really going for yet, so I'll just have to sit through the rest of the tutorial. Following this though, we just hold W and deal with whatever comes my way. I don't do Stairship quite yet as I don't view it as necessary, but you'd go for it here with this energy shield and do some out of bounds platforming and a teleport to save quite a bit of time. It's a good time save on easy too, as this section here is a lot different on easy as compared to legendary. This door after the maintenance tunnel is locked, making you take the long way around before you can progress. This is meant to be a tutorial for Backsmax and the motion tracker, but by the time Cortana does her dialogue, I've cleared the hallway and I'm on to the last section. This is as simple as tossing nades until everything dies and then the level ends. My Pillar of Autumn was a 6:09, which puts me 10.5 seconds ahead of PB. Oh, by the way, you've probably noticed the splits by now. Yeah, they're frog puns. Frog Arcus once left a bunch of frog puns in my chat, and I have to teach him that his actions have consequences. There's Pillar of Frogdom, Froggo, Frog and Reconciliation, Silent Car Frographer, Assault on the Control Frog, 343 Froggy Spark, the Frog Brewery, 2 Frogs, Froggies, and the Frog. Onwards to Froggo though. Oh, while we're on the subject of splits, the white numbers next to the levels is what I finished on PB, and the numbers to their left will be different colours. The main ones that you need to keep in mind are green, which means I'm ahead of PB, gold, which means it's the fastest I've ever done that segment, and red, which means I'm behind. But we're green into Halo, which is really, really good. But I suck at Halo as a level, so I never expect a green coming out. However, the Halo in my last PB was really, really awful, so I have a lot of wiggle room here. Starting a level though, I usually move to the left here to hit the bridge trigger to spawn the enemies up ahead, but I forgot to do it here. This spawns the squad up ahead that we usually skip with this grenade jump here, so we can potentially grab early plasma nades as well as a plasma pistol, but I'm an idiot, so I don't get these things. Oh, you'll also notice that nade jump dropped me to 1 red health bar. That's because on easy, you have less health than you would on legendary, and grenades will drop you to literally 0 HP, meaning that you need full HP and shields to even attempt a nade jump of any kind. Moving ahead now, we come into the dropship section. I quickly dispatch the Covenant and grab a plasma pistol as soon as possible. We also want as many plasma nades as possible going onwards into the encounter. Next up, we murder at least 5, but ideally 6 of our marines before the waves begin to skip both dialogue and to set up a trick called drop skip. Even if you're not after drop skip, it's still worth killing the marines to get rid of their dialogue. We can freely kill our marines with the magnum as opposed to grenades, as the magnums will eventually de-aggro on easy, as opposed to on legendary where the aggro will practically never leave. So we want to try and go for the trick called drop skip as we mentioned prior. This is where we clear the first 3 dropships as fast as humanly possible so as to skip the 4th dropship. The way it works is on ship 2, we need to place grenades in very specific ways that will leave no more than 2 enemies alive. This is pretty easy for dropship 2, but for dropship 3 this takes some precise lineups to spawn kill the enemies. Runners also throw another plasma nade into the center of the dropship, as sometimes enemies just teleport there after they begin to exist. I luck out and get it this time. I make it sound like dropskip is make or break, but this is easy, so it's not as necessary as on, say, legendary or heroic. Once we have our Warthog though, there's not much really in the way of tricks. We just have to play clean and rescue the marines as quickly as possible. To skip some dialogue and make things slightly easier, we can get early marine aggro by coming into cliffs, shooting to alert their grunts, and then sniping a marine before they aggro the enemies in front of them. I was too sloppy with taking out the grunts, so I didn't get it this time, but again, it's not make or break, it's just a nice thing to get. I had more shenanigans happen where Rubble, the sniper marine, was being a little bitch, and another marine threw a nade at my feet and killed me. Classic. I did get aggro though, meaning that I can skip at least a few lines of dialogue as I enter the last area. This clear is incredibly finicky to get down, and jackals etc can just hide and delay the end of the level, but we got there, and I ended the level with a 1204. 1204? Really? Holy shit, I used to suck at Halo. But this put me at 44.8 seconds ahead of my PB. My TNRs have 2 sides, shit and not shit. My exteriors are absolute bollocks, but my interiors are usually spick and span. The lift fight is the one that trips me up the most. See, on easy, you want to get early waves to take care of them immediately. Nervy does it in this smooth motion that is so satisfying to watch. Me, on the other hand, absolute disaster. For one, my clear was sloppy, I didn't even get the early waves, and in the lift fight, okay, I mean, look, it wasn't the worst, but come on, you've seen far better than this. As of this run, I didn't really go for belly skip, as it's such an intense trick, but here's Nervy demolishing it like a pro. These days, I do go for the trick though, as it's somehow clicked, and I can do it nearly every time. I just don't do the full platforming because I'm bad at it. Instead, here I am fighting the waves one by one. To make it go faster, I killed the Marine by the Wraith here to skip some dialogue and then PP'd all over these fools. In this run, I grabbed camo, but I've since stopped doing this as it's completely unnecessary in easy runs. Heading into the RNG room, I hop on this box here and spam shoot to manipulate into strafing towards his door. Up next is my favourite trick in the run. Here, just watch. Pog! There is a faster variation called quad stack that Nervy pulls off as easily as he breathes, but this looks super hard and is alien to a noob like me. From here, our objective is just to quickly dispatch all the enemies as soon as possible until you hit the Keys rescue. Immediately after the rescue starts, we can 180 and collateral these marines here to aggro Cats and Keys. And again, it's a mad dash back to the start of the encounter. Once we're here and we murdered the stealth elites, the level ends early as the grenade jump we did earlier breaks the triggers in a certain way, and we skip Captain Keys' usual dialogue here because he's mad at us. This brings TNR to an end in 9 minutes and 1 second, giving me a gold and putting me 1 minute and 13 seconds ahead of my PB. Silent Cartographer is up next and begins with a 30-second cutscene and a minute-long walk across a beach. But once we have the Warthog, it's off to the races. It's SC skip time. After bonking on this wall here, if we reach the bottom of the ramp quick enough, we'll hit this checkpoint here, meaning we could try the fling again and again. The fling in question has me exit the Warthog and then turn hard right, so the back of the Warthog pushes me through the door before the elite can lock it. Before progressing, I like to sit in this corner here, as it gives me another guaranteed checkpoint before part 2 of the skip. Here we fall off in such a way that we graze the bottom of the ledge here, and then land on this ramp to take little to no fall damage, and part 3 is just landing here on this overshield. Once we hit the button, we come through here and do a grenade jump up to this active camo, which lets us walk past all the enemies back up top. Instead of this, Nervy just does a huge grenade stack to land near the top instead. Once all is said and done, we make our way up top and then hop into the Pelican, ending the level in 4 minutes and 57 seconds. Putting me 1 minute and 17 seconds ahead of my PB. Nice. EOTCR is another one of my favourites. Casually, this is by far the longest level in the game, but in a speedrun setting is one of the faster ones. I'm assuming that most of you are familiar with the Banshee grab, which you'd find in legendary speedruns where you manipulate the AI into ejecting from the Banshee and drive it to the end of the level. This isn't possible on easy as the Banshee just isn't there. Instead, we jump off the bridge, like so. If I had actually moved to the left that first time, then yeah, I would have hit it first try, but I just didn't. Oh, I'm gonna full timer. No, I'm not, I'm fine. After this, we grab a ghost and drive on through until we get the Banshee here. These days, I do go for Banshee teleports, but during this run, I was still a novice and regularly launching myself into the void. So here, just watch Nervy do him as I slowly walk to the control room and fly another Banshee to the button. But that's this level done in 6 minutes and 54 seconds. Another gold and putting me 1 minute and 47 seconds ahead of my PB. Gucci Spark is up next, and in this run, I was hoping to go for reveal skip, which I just learned hours prior, but I just wasn't getting it. Thanks to Frog Archist again, he told me what I was doing wrong, which was looking far too right and jumping way too early. These days, I land the trick nearly every time though. The way it works is you do a weird grenade jump into a light fixture and land inside this geometry here. We cross a gap here by crouching and uncrouching to bounce us across the gap and onto a pixel wide ledge and then walk across it and then jump back and bounce. So I guess I'm just hoofing it. After the reveal room, we just make a mad dash towards the end. To make up for the miss on reveal skip, I did hit Camo Jumo first try, so that's pretty pog honestly. Once we hit the top of the lift here, I nade myself to get down to 1 red health bar. That's because the trigger to end this level is weird. On Legendary, you see runners murder the 2 friendly sentinels flying around to end the level, but on easy, the trigger is instead tied to your health. Once you reach the last area and have 1 red health bar, the level starts a timer and thus ends the level. This was a comfy 7:54, which unfortunately only puts me at 1 minute and 4 seconds ahead due to losing 40 seconds to a failed reveal skip. That's fine though. I have a skip I've been practicing on library, which will give me all of that time back. Ah yes, the library. Best level in Halo. There's a ton of flood bumps I could in theory go for, but at the time I'd practiced a grand total of 0. So when doors lock, I unfortunately just have to wait. Easy library is just a case of holding W as hard as possible, as your chances of dying are nearly zero for most of the mission. One thing to note, however, is thanks to an MCC bug, carriers you shoot deal far more damage to you than they're meant to, meaning an accidental carrier kill can ruin a run. There's also Rocket Flood, who can still one-shot you if their rockets land in the same area code. As mentioned prior, most of the doors can be skipped with flood bulbs, but I choose to go for none of them as of now. I do a nade jump here on floor 2 as it's easy to pull off and there's no reason not to go for it. But that's all I do trick-wise until I hit floor 3. As a joke, I always go for Dark Door here despite having no clue what I'm doing. Occasionally I will hit it, and other times like today, I did the lineup completely wrong. You may be expecting me to wait at the 45-second door here, however, I got it! That's right, there's light bump. A super easy trick that I'm kicking myself for not learning earlier. What we're doing is we walk into this door here and stand still so that it clips into us. Then we stand in a particular nook, and while looking in the spot, I'll tap jump and let go of crouch while holding right, which causes me to up warp. Then I'll stand in this light fixture, change the bad graphics, then line up in a pixel perfect way. Once I hold left, the game will then teleport me past the door and then I can go onto the elevator. There's not much else of note on my library, I just cleared halls and did one trick every so often. Prior to last door, I did a nade jump to hop on through it, and while I could bump through the door here, I just don't. At last door, I could nade jump through again, but I didn't have any frags left as I'd spent them all delaying a checkpoint during light bump. A long walk to the left and a 63-second long cutscene later, we end library with a time of 13:59, putting us a whopping 2 minutes and 4 seconds ahead of PB. Imagine I hit reveal skip. This would have been the god run. I hate this level, but it has to be done. To me, TB is just Library 2 Electric Boogaloo, as I just hold W and hope for the very best. Opening the level, we just want to take out enough sentinels to make sure we don't lose any shields. And then the next room we do the same, plus killing an elite to startle the grunts so as to not lose much health. Legendary runs would do a deload trick here out of necessity, but I just hit the button and barrel on down towards the Banshee. High level TB runs do bull, but I will probably never learn this trick as it's too big and complex for my tiny brain to comprehend. After generator 1 is down, it's more W holding, and then taking the shortest possible path to the next area. This level is packed with rocket flood and banshees that cannot wait to splatter you. And combined with this level being stingy with checkpoints, it's so easy to die and lose boatloads of time through no fault of your own. Gold sword elites also exist just to mess up your day, but if you can dispatch them quick enough, you're golden. One thing I wish I was told earlier is that banshees on easy die in 2 shotgun blasts. This would have saved me a lot of heartbreak on bridge 2. My bridge 2 was clean this time though. I managed to avoid the banshee splatter and the 3 rocket flood who were out for my booty. In this outside section, we grab a ghost and beeline to our next banshee. Once here, we want to grab the far banshee as there's less chance of getting splattered or banshee bombed by the other banshees flying around us. Then we can fly up, clear generator 2, pop it and rush back out. This trick here is broken door skip and I hate it so much, less so these days because I actually understand what I was doing wrong. At the time, I found it really finicky and kept getting stuck when I really shouldn't have. To do it though, we jam our banshee nose here and flick the mouse to get stuck in the middle. Then by wiggling back and forth, we make it through. Do not copy how I do it here though. After a talk with Frog, it turns out my mouse movements were far too erratic and do more harm than good. It's a fucking miracle that I hit this as often as I used to with this method. So please, use a proper tutorial. We cross the bridge here and then head outdoors, and activate the infamous 5 flood trigger by killing 5 of the 10 flood here with either nades or our Banshee. Then we fly forwards to hit a few more level triggers, then back up to Gen 3 to end the level. While not a gold, this was a phenomenal TB by my standards at the time, at an amazing 11:34, and putting me 2 minutes and 34 seconds ahead of PB. Onto Keys. Keys is the simplest level in the run, yet I managed to screw it up nearly all the time. We do an RNG manip at the start of the level by holding Q and W, then pressing space at the right time. We then just hold forward to spawn this flood here as a reviver. We bring him back and then use him for this. No! Yeah, that kinda hurt. But we got it second try and bumped through the wall. After clearing out the flood and sitting through the Keys cutscene, we throw a distraction grenade here and then get in the Banshee to end the level. Missing the bump hurt a lot, so that was really bad time loss, putting Keys at a 350 completion, and bringing our pace ahead of PB to only 1 minute and 48 seconds. Onward to Maw though, we got this. Maw has a lot of tech I straight up don't go for. I don't do the out of bounds platforming, and I have never once got the teleport to work, no matter what I try or whose lineup I copy. So holding W it is once again. clearing the halls and taking the shortest possible path I can. In the cryo room here, I do a little jump, which is a lot faster than taking the ladder, and then grab a rocket launcher here. Grabbing the rocket here means I don't have to go to the armory, but I didn't realize this for a little while longer, so I still waste time here grabbing extra rockets that I straight up don't need. Headed into the reactor room though, I do a little nade jump here and then work my way up and around to get a good cycle on the reactor flaps. You can do a trick here like Nervy does called buttonless, where you hit a pixel perfect part of the outside to damage it without pressing any of the buttons, but this is far too precise for me right now. Once all 4 reactors are dead though, we head on up and do the Warthog run. There are 4 open sections here which we drive through in different ways. Area 1 we want to slalom on through, sections 2 and 3 we hit the sides, and in section 4 is once again down the middle. After Fullhammer dies, we just have to do the last trick of the run, 360 swag. We do this for 2 reasons. 1, it looks cool, and 2, it's the only guaranteed way to land this jump flatly and not flip. If you take it straight, you will land 9 times out of 10, but that is not worth risking a run over in my opinion. I could also drive through the barrels here, but I don't do it for some reason. I just haven't learned it. So I do the walk of shame into my PB of 1 hour, 25 minutes and 19 seconds. So this isn't actually my current PB. My current best run is a 119 flat, which does some of the tech missing from the run that we just watched. But I still have even more room for improvement. Like I said, I stream attempts right here on YouTube and also do runs on Twitch occasionally. Both links can be found in the description below. Even though I have my initial goal of a sub 120, I have a long-term goal of around 114 and I might even push for a sub 110 eventually. So if you want to keep up with that journey, please hit the subscribe button and give me a like too. I hope to see you in the streams. For more content, you can click on screen now to watch how Frog Arcist and I beat Halo Combat Evolved Lasso together, or you can click on the playlist for how I got all of the MCC speedrun achievements with 0 speedrun experience under my belt. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for watching. See you soon. Thanks.